Those Shoes by Maribeth Bolts, illustrated by Noah Z. Jones. I have dreams about those shoes, black high tops with 2 white stripes. Grandma, I want them. There's no room for want around here, just need, Grandma says. And what you need are new boots for winter. Brendan comes to school in those shoes. He says he's the fastest runner now, not me. I used to be the fastest before those shoes came along. Nat comes to school in those shoes. Tony and I count how many times he goes to the toilet. 7. Just so he can walk up and down the corridor really slowly. Next, Alan, Jacobs and Terry each get a pair. Then, one day, during sports practice, one of my shoes come apart. Looks like you need a new pair, Jeremy, Mr. Alfrey, the deputy head says. He brings out a box of shoes and other stuff he has for kids who need things. He helped me find the only shoes that are my size, Velcro, like the ones my little cousin wears. They have an animal on them from the cartoon I don't think anyone ever watched. When I come back to the classroom, Alan Jacobs takes one look at Mr. Alfrey's shoes and laughs. And so do Terry and Brendan and everyone else. The only one not laughing is Tony Parker. At home, Grandma says, "How kind of Mr. Alfrey." I nod and turn my back. I'm not going to cry about some stupid shoes, but when I'm writing out my spelling words later, every word looks like the word shoes. And my grip is so tight on my pencil, I think it might break. On Saturday, Grandma says, "Let's go and look at those shoes you want so much. I've got a bit of money saved up. It might be enough. You never know." At the shoe shop, Grandma turns the shoes over to check the price. When she sees it, she sits down heavily. "Maybe it's wrong," I say. Grandma shakes her head. Then I remember the charity shops. Maybe there's a rich boy who's outgrown his, or who got 2 pairs for Christmas and had to give one away. We get to the bus on the first charity shop. Black cowboy boots, pink slippers, sandals, high heels, all kinds of shoes, except the ones I want. We get the bus to the second charity shop. Not a pair of those shoes in sight. Round the corner is the third charity shop. I see something in the window. Black high tops, 2 white stripes, perfect shape, $2.50. Those shoes. My heart pounds as I take off my shoes and pull up my saggy socks. "How exciting," Grandma says. "What size are they?" I shove my foot into the first shoe and curl my toes to get my heel in. I don't know, but I think they fit. Grandma kneels on the floor and feels my toes at the end of the shoes. "Oh, Jeremy," she says, "I can't spend good money on shoes that don't fit." I pull the other shoe on and I try to walk around. "They're okay," I say, holding my breath and wishing my toes would fall right off there and then. But my toes didn't fall off. I buy them anyway, with my own money. Then I squeeze them on and limp to the bus stop. At home, a few days later, Grandma puts a new pair of black boots into my cupboard. She doesn't say a word about my 2 big feet hobbling about in my 2 small shoes. "Sometimes shoes stretch," I say. Grandma gives me a hug. I check every day, but those shoes don't stretch. I have to wear Mr. Alfrey's to school instead. Then, one day, during maths, I noticed Tony's shoes. One of them is taped up. His feet look smaller than mine. A loose piece of tape on Tony's shoe slaps on the concrete every time he jumps. I think I'm not going to do it. We leap off the swings. I'm not going to do it. We race from one end of the playground to the other. I'm not going to do it, I say. Do what? Tony says, breathing hard. At tea time, Grandma invites Tony in too. After tea, he sees my shoes. How come you don't wear them? Tony asks. I shout. My hands are sweaty. I can tell he wishes those shoes were his. That night, I lie awake for a long time thinking about Tony. When the morning comes, I try on my shoes for the last time. Before I can change my mind, the shoes are under my jacket. Snow is beginning to fall as I run across the street to Tony's house. I put the shoes in his front door, ring the bell, and run. At school, Tony is smiling in his brand new shoes. I feel happy when I look at his face and cross when I look at Mr. Alfred's shoes. But later at break time, something happens. There is snow everywhere. Leave your shoes in the corridor and change into your boots, the teacher says. Leave your shoes in the corridor? That's when I remember I have in my backpack new boots, new black boots that no one has ever worn before. Standing in line to go out to break, Tony leans forward and says, "Thanks." I smile and give him a nudge. Let's race.